whatever you do, talk about what you feel and what you're interested in, and that's going to come across, and people are going to connect with that.
Welcome to the Radio Vagabond podcast. This week I'll be sharing a few extra episodes as a part of my new interview series. These are not the regular travel podcasts where I share my own stories from my own journey, but sometimes I'm lucky to meet some interesting, inspiring people. They've inspired me, and hopefully they're going to inspire you as well.
Meet Palle Bo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything, his house, his car, his furniture, and set out with a quest to visit every single country in the world. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
I'm going to be sharing one episode a day the next 5 days. And the first 4 episodes in this series was recorded 6 months ago when I was in Stockholm at the TBEX conference for travel bloggers. I shared them back then on my Danish podcast feed, but not over here at the English feed. In these 5 episodes, I talked to 6 interesting people. They are podcasters, YouTubers, and one of them is even a best-selling author. It's Chris Christensen from the Amateur Traveler podcast, Michael Graziano from Global Degree, the legendary Nomadic Matt that wrote one of the best travel books ever, Johnny FD from Travel Like a Boss podcast, and in this first one, it's actually 2 people.
My name's Marko. I'm one half of the Vagabrothers.
And I am Alex. I'm the other half of the Vagabrothers. We're basically travel filmmakers, vloggers, YouTubers, and digital entrepreneurs.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
Well, the first video that we ever made together was about 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago. But we were originally doing it to get into television and putting videos on YouTube as like a resume. We were teaching English at the time, and we wrote like a proposal for a TV concept, and they were like, oh, well, let's see you guys on camera. So we did it, but then they were like, oh my God, you have no chemistry. Are you guys even brothers? You're so bad. Because we hadn't lived together for 8 years. So at that point, the rejection, where that would normally have been like a dead end for someone in traditional media, we said, well, we're just going to make the videos on YouTube and we'll see what happens. So 6 months later, we found a tweet that was advertising a 6-month trip around the world with a video contest. So we entered the contest, we won the contest, and launched our careers on YouTube.
Yeah. And you're very, very successful as a travel vloggers. And did you expect that it would go that way?
I don't think. I think.
Say yeah.
Okay. I think that.
First of all, thank you.
Thank you for your flattering comment. I think when everybody in this internet world is always a little bit kind of super critical on yourself. So it feels good when somebody says that we're super successful, but I don't think that we're super successful. I think there's always room for improvement. There's always room to become better at what you do. But it's been a journey. Mark and I have been doing this for 4 years. And I think one of the things that a lot of people don't get about YouTube is that it's all consuming. It takes so much of your time because we're pretty much a 2-man production crew doing a lot of jobs that in a traditional media company would be done by, 10 or 20 people. So it's been a long, slow journey, but I think that more than anything, it's been fun. I think that's the bottom line, is that we have fun, and I think that comes across in our films, and people like to have fun, so they subscribe and they kind of join the adventure with us.
And I think also, just to go back to your question, I think it's not that we knew that we were going to be successful. I think that starting a career on YouTube is just like writing a novel, in the sense where you don't know how it's going to end. It's like driving a car in the dark and you just have the headlights and you can see what's right in front of you. And so it was really just about taking step after step after step and trying to follow our passions. And in the beginning, of course, no one was paying us. We were paying out of pocket to make the content. And then eventually, with the luck that we had, with the accomplishments that we were able to achieve, it slowly kind of built momentum, and we still don't know where we're going, but it's just one step at a time. It's the same. You can still see the same distance as we could when we started.
Tell me some of the places you've been.
Well, I think that the real game changer in our lives was winning the contest, The Biggest, Baddest Bucket List. It was a 6-month trip around the world to 25 destinations in 25 weeks. It sent us to all 6 continents, and anywhere from Brazil to Kazakhstan, So it was pretty all-encompassing. But since then, we've launched our own channel, and we've been doing a lot of content primarily in Europe in the last couple of years. But we are shifting focus in late 2016 and 2017. We want to do a lot more content in Asia. We want to do content in South America. We both own motorcycles now, and we want to start doing some exciting kind of cross-country motorcycle adventures, starting at home in California and moving abroad.
But these days, how much of the year do you travel?
About 2/3, I think. Over half.
Yeah.
Over half for sure.
And you still have a place?
Never.
No,
we don't. We're not renting a place. We haven't
Okay.
rented a place. It's like since we won the contest, that was such a dramatic break with our normal life that we essentially won the contest. We had a taste of what the life was like because we were getting paid to do it by a brand. At the end of it, we kind of had a falling out with the brand, and we didn't have any money, basically, long story short. So we moved in with our grandparents who live in Los Angeles, where the media world was, and we stayed with them for 4 months while we strategized, while we used the content we had to make new videos, to launch a new channel, and really to kind of go figure out how we're going to go forward. So we have not rented an apartment since we won the contest. When we have to be home, we're able to stay with family, but we're on the road most of the time. So it's finally coming back to the point where we're finally able to look at getting an apartment again. I think we're going to do it, and we're probably going to move to Los Angeles permanently. Yeah.
I mean, we've just been digital nomading for the last 3-4 years, living out of backpacks, couch surfing, staying with friends, Airbnb, hitchhiking, pretty much all of that. It's been a wild adventure. Yeah.
And I've just started my nomadic life. Is there any advice you can give me?
Yeah, definitely. Follow your passions. Like, don't look at what other people are doing, and maybe they've achieved success in that, and you think that is a surefire formula for success for yourself. I don't believe that that's true. I think you have to follow your passion. You have to do what you're interested in and what drives you. And when you're doing what you really want to be doing, that comes across in whatever style of content you want to create, be it video, photography, podcast, radio, whatever you do, talk about what you feel and what you're interested in, and that's going to come across, and people are going to connect with that. So
I feel like he's already got that down. I think the main thing is, like, you're going to try to do this not only as a traveler but as like a content creator. So what I would say is, in the beginning, there are going to be people. I don't really know how podcasting is received as a medium, how much like tourism boards, for example, would be willing to get behind that. I'm not sure, but for sure, it's I think that your advantage right now is you have a really low overhead. Like, you have this mic, keep rolling around with it. And I think one of our good hacks for finding places that are inexpensive is go to the Airbnb website, go to the map, and zoom out until you can see the whole continent of Europe, and then you can see price comparisons by country, and then just travel in the places where the numbers are the lowest. It's a good little trick.
Yeah. I just want to move a little bit back to your videos because, like I said, I think there's a high production value. I was in Tallinn last week, and I really enjoyed your video from Tallinn, where you dressed up in traditional clothes. That must have taken a long time to do.
Rival, also known as Tallinn, the year 1543. Excuse me, sir. Some strong ale for you. I just come in from.
Actually, that's a really funny story, because we were working with the Tallinn tourism board, and they wanted us to showcase the toilet of the old Hansa restaurant. The old Hansa restaurant's this like 13th century medieval Hanseatic League grandiose building, and supposedly they had a really nice, authentic wooden toilet seat with a very elaborate restroom. So they asked us at the last second. They said, "Hey, we really want you guys to feature this toilet." And Mark and I were like, "Well, how the hell are we going to feature a toilet?"
And then we're like, "Ding!" And we snapped our fingers. "Waiter, do you have an extra pair of those costumes?" Because all the waiters are dressed up, and they're like, "Sure." So they got us some costumes. And we actually wrote the skit on the fly, which is why it's basically a big poop joke. I mean, it's not really sophisticated in terms of writing, but that was improvised. The rest of it, though, like for that episode, in that case, we probably spent a week preparing to make the 2 videos, doing research and stuff. Like, if you watch the video, even though the skit was improvised and it is essentially, like I said, a long poop joke, the rest of the video goes chronologically through Estonian history and shows the different layers of civilizations. So that is the part that took the time, and then the skit can be basically improvised.
Hold your horses, love. A little bit of local flavour for our foreign friends. Oh, the hearty feast. Oh, it's spicy. Extremely spicy. I must excuse myself. Ooh. Ooh. I think I have merchant's belly.
How long time do you spend editing?
The edits take anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days. It just kind of depends on the scope and the story that we're telling. Like right now we're editing a video series from the Basque Country, and we used to live in the Basque Country in northern Spain, and it's a place that's very close to our heart, so we were very passionate and very elaborate and thorough when we filmed it, and lots of different stories happening there.
And we're attached to it.
So it's taking a lot longer.
Yeah.
But it depends.
There have been moments when we have done, like, for a stint, like a vlog a day, like a daily vlogging thing. We did that for like a week, and it's just a different thing because when you do the daily vlog, I personally don't think it's very sustainable on the long term. But the good thing about it is it's like you film something in a day, and then you go home and you make a video and you put it online the next day, and it's like it's
closure.
You're living in a sealed day compartment, which is like, I don't know if you ever read Dale Carnegie, his rules for success, but he says live in airtight days. Like one day, don't worry about tomorrow, don't worry about the past, just today. And that's the good thing about doing a daily vlog. But with what we do, we are trying to make higher production quality, so it involves anticipation, pre-production, and then when you're done, you're focusing on something that you filmed a month ago. So it's not as easy, but it's the trade-off.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Of course, we can find you on Vagabrothers on YouTube and also vagabrothers.com.
Yeah, but primarily on YouTube.
Primarily on YouTube. Yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes. Thanks very much, and nice meeting you.
Cheers.
Likewise.
That's it. I'll be back tomorrow with another exciting chap. I meant to say chat, but, well, I guess chap will do it. It's Chris Christensen from the Amateur Traveler podcast. He's been doing his Amateur Traveler for, I think, 12 years. So he's one of the absolute pioneers, and he's still doing it, along with some other stuff.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on theradiovagabond.com. Pale can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.
I'm Palabo. Talk to you tomorrow.